But when you're looking at George Clooney, we know that he is basically in a desperate phase right now. He is panicking. He is trying to land several interviews to either apologize.
For example, when Rocky would never be made today. This never would have happened. It's over. Majority. The Godfather wouldn't be made today.
And based on his behavior, we might as well call him Furious George, a little joke on Curious George.
I don't think it's going to ever have the golden era that it's had by far, because the audience, the demographic is different.
George Clooney, the Hollywood golden boy, just threw a tantrum that would make a toddler blush. Can you believe he actually tried to silence Sylvester Stallone for daring to have a conversation with someone he disagrees with? It's like high school all over again, but with wrinkles and Botox. But here's the kicker, Stallone, our real-life Rocky, isn't backing down. He's standing tall against Clooney's bullying tactics, proving that true strength isn't about silencing others, it's about having the guts to listen. Are you ready to see how this epic showdown unfolds? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Now, I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again, but anytime that we address George Clooney and all the shenanigans surrounding him, we might as well call it Clooney Tunes, because share his side of the story when it comes to politics. And that's basically a move by him to win back a large portion of his audience. So George Clooney, we know that he has been pretty much in a downward spiral. We know that, of course, he is trying to really win back his audience that have just checked out. They want nothing to do with him anymore. And him attacking other celebrities either behind the scenes or in the public eye is not helping at all.
Folks, you won't believe what's going down in Tinseltown. George Clooney, Hollywood's golden boy, just threw the mother of all tantrums. And why? Because he can't handle a little competition from the Italian stallion himself, Sylvester Stallone. Picture this. CNN's cooking up this big, warm, and fuzzy holiday special. Stars, smiles, and spreading cheer. Sounds great, right? Wrong. The whole thing went up in flames faster than you can say a mall's designer handbag collection. Here's the juicy part. Clooney flat out refused to share the stage with Stallone. Can you believe it? He's calling Sly a political opportunist. Rich, coming from a guy who's made a career out of playing both sides of the fence. But wait, it gets better. Behind the scenes, Clooney's throwing a fit about Stallone's so-called dangerous and outdated ideals. What's the matter, George? Afraid someone might actually speak their mind instead of parroting the same old Hollywood script? But here's the kicker. Clooney's worried about his precious image getting tarnished.
Change their views on DEI and forced agendas. One significant development going on now involves more to do with George Clooney and, surprisingly, Sylvester Stallone. We know that many people want nothing to do with this actor anymore, and rightfully so, for valid reasons out there. Interestingly enough, we know that George Clooney pretty much is universally rejected, not just in the US, but across the entire globe.
Oh, boo-hoo. The multimillionaire with an Italian villa is scared of a little bad press. Give me a break. Is this really about politics, or is pretty boy George just terrified that Stallone's star power might outshine his own? Well, guess what? Clooney's little hissy fit backfired big time. Now he's the one looking like a real opportunist. Talk about shooting yourself in the designer-clad foot. The public's not buying his holier-than-thou act anymore. They're seeing right through the Hollywood smoke and mirrors. And Stallone? He's coming out of this smelling like roses. While Clooney's hiding behind his PR team, Sly's out there connecting with real people. He's not afraid to speak his mind, even if it ruffles a few designer feathers. Folks, you won't believe what Stallone's cooking up. While Clooney's busy throwing his little hissy fit, Sly's about to drop a bombshell that'll shake Hollywood to its core. This isn't just about two actors trading blows anymore. It's a full-on war against the woke machine.
Involves how The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon agreed to set up a deal between George Clooney and Sylvester Stallone to go on together as guests to share their political differences with the public. Refused to actually agree with the NBC producers to go on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, all because Sylvester Stallone would actually be present and sitting beside him. Clooney made it very clear to the NBC producers that he wanted nothing to do with Stallone. Shockingly, of course, Clooney and his team informed NBC.
Stallone's not hiding in some fancy Italian villa. Oh no, he's taking his message straight to the people, and he's doing it in style. Remember when we thought Rocky was his biggest hit? Well, buckle up, because Sly's latest performance is on Joe Rogan's podcast, and it's a knockout. He's spilling the beans on all that juicy Hollywood politics and dropping truth bombs left and right. But wait, there's more. Stallone's not stopping there. He's lined up appearances on shows like Gutfeld, proving he's not afraid to step into the lion's den, while the Hollywood elite are quaking in their overpriced boots. Sly's out there connecting with real people. And let me tell you, the fans are eating it up. You want to know the best part? Stallone's not just talking, he's predicting a seismic shift in Tinseltown. He's calling out Hollywood for being completely disconnected from the audiences they're supposed to serve. Can you believe he actually said, if the industry wants to survive, it has to pivot away from agenda-driven narratives and return to its roots, telling stories that connect with everyone regardless of political affiliation? That's not just a mic drop, that's a nuclear bomb on the whole system. And guess what? The people are loving it.
This comes just weeks after Clooney has been, of course, desperately trying to land a series of interviews to share his side of the story about his role in politics. And of course, George, was unwilling to sit near Sylvester Stallone, since he found him to be repulsive after endorsing one side of the country and its politics. It even got to a point where Stallone was welcoming Clooney with open arms, even after learning that Clooney had attacked him behind the scenes.
Social media is blowing up with support for Stallone. Fans are praising him for having the guts to challenge the status quo and speak the truth. Meanwhile, Clooney's public image is taking a nosedive faster than a Hollywood starlet's career after hitting 40. But here's the kicker, Stallone's not alone in this fight. Other stars like Kevin Sorbo and Jon Voight are jumping on the bandwagon, embracing conservative viewpoints and connecting with audiences through alternative platforms. It's like a whole new Hollywood is forming right under the noses of the elite. Folks, the battle lines are drawn and Stallone's coming out swinging. While Clooney's busy throwing tantrums, Sly's taking his message straight to the people. He's hitting up Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about how Hollywood's lost touch with real folks like you and me. It's not just about movies anymore. It's about who gets to control the narrative. Stallone's not backing down, and he's got a plan. He's lining up more appearances, ready to drop truth bombs left and right. Meanwhile, Clooney's hiding in his fancy Italian villa, probably worried about his precious image. But here's the kicker. The more Clooney tries to silence Stallone, the more people are waking up to the truth. This isn't just some celebrity feud, folks. It's a full-on revolution brewing in Tinseltown. Are you ready for a Hollywood that actually listens to its audience? Stallone sure is, and he's leading the charge. The question is, will the rest of Hollywood follow, or will they keep pushing their out-of-touch agendas? Stay tuned because this show's just getting started.